The moon was never empty. Humanity just never dug deep enough to see what slept beneath its ancient crust. For years, scientists believed the underground structures were nothing more than old lava tubes and collapsed caves. That belief ended the moment one of those caverns opened on its own. What came out wasn't human, and it wasn't peaceful. They called themselves the Cryolith, an ancient species that once ruled the moon long before humans even took their first steps into space. And now, after centuries of silence, they had awakened, and were demanding their territory back. The first Cryolith vessel rose from a crater near the lunar South Pole. It wasn't metal, it was alive, pulsing with veins of dark blue energy. Human satellites picked up its movement for only a few seconds before going completely offline. Then, a single broadcast cut through the static across every lunar channel. "We are returning to reclaim what was ours. Prepare yourselves." Earth expected a negotiation. What they got instead was the beginning of a war. Inside Tranquility Base, alarms flashed red as engineers scrambled to power up rail cannons and deploy drone swarms. Every nation on Earth redirected its orbital fleets toward the moon. Commander Soren Black, leader of the Lunar Guard, stared at the incoming data streams with growing dread. If the Cryolith broke into lunar orbit, Earth would instantly become their primary target. "We hold them here," he said, "at any cost." Even the humming of the air recyclers seemed heavier with tension. Deep beneath the surface, the Cryolith awakened fully. Their bodies were long, segmented, armored like metal insects forged in darkness. Their eyes burned with cold blue flame, ancient intelligence mixed with ruthless purpose. Their leader, Veiltar, towered over the others as he studied a projection of Earth spinning slowly in the air. "The humans have grown bold," he hissed. "They believe they own the stars. Let us remind them who rose first." The tunnels vibrated with the roars of thousands of awakened warriors. Human scouts were the first to enter the underground passages. They expected tunnels. Instead, they walked into an ambush. Dozens of Cryolith soldiers stood waiting in total silence, their bodies perfectly still, as if carved from the walls themselves. Private Lane whispered, trembling, "Commander." They knew we were coming. Before he could finish, the walls around them shifted, alive and moving. Cryolith armor detached from the rock like insects hatching from a hive. 1,000 glowing eyes opened in the darkness. Then the attack began. The battle was chaos. Plasma beams ripped through the tunnels. Human gunfire sparked off alien armor. Shockwaves shook the ground under their boots. The Cryolith were faster, stronger, and impossibly coordinated. Human squads were forced back step by step as the alien tide swarmed forward. Commander Soren shouted over the comms, "Hold the line. Do not let them breach the surface," but the Cryolith numbers were overwhelming. Then came the moment humanity always becomes dangerous, the moment they adapt. Soren noticed something the aliens didn't expect anyone to see. Their armor flickered during sharp movement shifts, exposing brief weak points. "Aim for the joints," he ordered. "Hit the flicker points." Instantly, AI-assisted targeting recalibrated. Marksmen adjusted stance. Explosive rounds detonated at precise angles. For the first time, the Cryolith staggered backward in surprise. Veiltar watched from the shadows, baffled. "They adapt too quickly," he whispered. Just like before, moments later, the Cryolith projected a message directly into human communication channels. Veiltar's voice echoed like grinding metal. "You think this is war? No. This is reclamation. The moon was our fortress until the enemy in the dark forced us underground. We hid for millennia. We survived. Now that same enemy is returning. We'll not fight two wars at once, so we purge you first." Commander Soren froze. "What enemy? What forced you underground?" No reply came, only the deep rumble of the moon itself shifting again. The Cryolith activated a colossal underground structure, the Prime Rift. Its spiraling core began pulling energy from the moon's inner mantle. If fully charged, it could destabilize the entire lunar crust. Earth would lose tides, weather cycles, and ocean stability. Humanity would collapse within months. Soren realized the horrifying truth. They're not just taking the moon, they're turning it into a weapon. Human strike teams stormed the rift chamber as Cryolith forces rained down from every direction. Commander Soren pushed through the chaos, reaching the central platform where Veiltar waited. The duel was brutal, claws against armor, fists against bone metal, sparks and plasma lighting up the chamber in blinding flashes. Soren fought with sheer determination, wounded but refusing to fall. In a desperate moment, He grabbed a Krylith core fragment torn loose during the battle. With every last bit of strength, he slammed it into the control altar. A massive shockwave exploded outward. The prime rift collapsed. Energy surged through the tunnels. The entire moon shook as the weapon shut down. Daletar dropped to one knee, stunned and furious. You would destroy yourselves, just to protect one world. Soren, breathing heavily, whispered, "That's what makes us human." The moon stabilized. The Krylith retreated into the deep tunnels, wounded and enraged. Earth had survived but only barely. As the dust settled, Commander Soren stood at the crater edge, staring into the dark abyss beneath him. "They're regrouping," he murmured. "They're not done, because somewhere below, deeper than any human had ever gone, the ancient enemy the Krylith feared was beginning to awaken." If you want part 2, comment "Awaken the Enemy" and subscribe for the next chapter.